I often say that the best thing about having this show is meeting new people that I haven't met before. And, it's happened way more frequently than I probably would have even said at the very beginning of this journey. But I'm very excited to have had someone refer me to Ariel Jordan. How are you today?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm wonderful. And I really appreciate you following up and reaching out because I do believe what you do is, very, very needed by not only much of the community, but certainly corporations and larger audiences. Backing up a little bit, and I know we're going to focus on kind of one arm of what you do. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what and how you got to Frederick?
So I got to Frederick because Frederick is one of the more affordable places to live when I was working at Walter Reed. So I used to drive back and forth to Walter Reed and Bethesda, and I needed a place to stay that where I had space and it was affordable. So that's
Yeah.
really what brought me to
You
Frederick.
poor thing. I don't know how you survived that commute,
It's
but
just,
yes, I can understand there are quite a number of people who live up this way that commute that way.
mhm. It
Yeah.
was a rough commute actually, but
Yeah.
I'm really glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure you are. So you moved up here. Well, first of all, you're a veteran, and we thank you so much for your service, and I mean that sincerely. And so you also are a counselor, mental health counselor. So you work in the mental health field,
Mhm.
but you really focus on right now the kind of corporate side of things where you're helping people kind of diffuse situations or handle stressful situations coming up. Talk a little bit about what you can do to help a local company.
Yes, yes. So outside of private practice, I equip leaders with tools and strategies that they need to enhance mental wellness and build resilience with their teams. So a couple of the things that I would focus on, or that I have focused on in the past: cultural competence, mindfulness, interpersonal relationship skills, distress tolerance, emotional regulation, and just really promoting mental health and resilience in the workplace.
We know how important it is to not ignore things that may be going on, not only in a workplace, certainly, but sometimes in a workplace. It just in the news, an employee for MVA that was threatening and doing that, that sort of behavior, which can be frightening for
Mhm.
employees. So, certainly, when you have people at the top focused on making sure things are implemented to either handle those situations and diffuse them as they're happening or preventing them from
Right.
happening in the first place, I think that those tools would come in handy.
Yeah, definitely. I'm big on the prevention part.
Yes, yes, and probably so are most coworkers for sure. You have had quite a journey yourself to get where you are. You just told me before we went that you finished your doctorate and you're just waiting for the final kind of handover. That's
Yes.
quite a journey in education for sure. And I'm assuming this was done after your service.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. You're
A little
very
bit during.
focused.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit during and then a little bit after. So it has
Yeah.
been a journey.
Yes, yes, I can imagine. What has been for you, maybe over the years of doing this, has been the biggest challenge for you?
So truly, the first thing that came to mind is losing my daughter. I lost her in 2014, and 3 months later, my dad died, and
Uh,
I had just received my associate's degree. So while my daughter, so she had a terminal illness, and I'm very comfortable talking about it now because I've done some healing work. But
sure.
with that terminal illness, there were times where she would be like in a medical coma and things like that. So I would be in the back of the room with my laptop, still trucking along. And so that, I would say that's my biggest that was the biggest hurdle. And then once I got through that and I took my period off where I needed to get it back together and figure life out again, after that is when I became unstoppable, because if I can get through that, I know I can get through anything.
Well, that's how life serves things up, isn't it? Like when they say, God doesn't give you things you can't handle, and it might
Yeah,
test you, push you to the edge, but once you do come through it, it can be freeing, right? You've been through what is
yeah,
the worst, and again, we're so sorry about the loss of a child. I can't again
thank you.
can't even fathom, so I have no idea. And then your father, too. That's just the double whammy right there. So,
Absolutely.
um, yeah, we can understand where you pull your strength, and I'm sure they're both pushing you along and cheering you on to your success. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's understandably a huge challenge to overcome. What
Mhm.
so far on the flip side, talking good stuff, has been the biggest, where you felt like, what I am doing is having an impact and giving back to me, right? Like I'm giving of myself to others, but I know that it's coming back. Have you had a moment like that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I've had several moments like that. Becoming a trauma therapist has been so rewarding because people come to me with their deep, dark stories, and I'm able to sit with them so that they're not alone, but also help them along the journey. So even though they're in the driver's seat, they have a passenger with them. And then beyond that, expanding into speaking engagements, I can help more people than just one on one. I can help a whole room full of people with building skills and resilience. And so that's where I've taken it, and also writing books as well, because somebody might not go to therapy, but they might go to a workshop or they might pick up a book to read.
Yeah. Look, I think that once you realize that what you've gone through is I unfortunately, we're very self-centered people, but it's shared by millions of people, and to know that you have the skill set to help people kind of move through that process at whatever pace is comfortable for them has got to be rewarding. It's, I know, a long process, and to know again that you're with people who have shared their darkest things with you or their most difficult times is, yes, I can certainly see where that is very helpful. And now taking it to a larger audience, again, you're right. Like there are people who can't do the one-on-one, or for whatever reason, won't think of that, but
Mhm.
the fact that you have the capability of helping them through a book that you've written or a class that you're putting on, I
Right.
think is great. Do you have any classes scheduled coming up anytime soon?
I am going to do a lunch and learn for Frederick Chamber of Commerce in August and
Oh,
September.
nice. If a company reached out to you again, maybe it's a stressful environment, and so they want to make sure their employees have the tools they need to deal with that, they can reach out to you for something like that currently.
Really, if they see a need and I fit the criteria, I can come to them or we can do a virtual. It doesn't really matter the method. It's just, structuring it, scheduling it, and making sure that I can meet their need and based off of what their requirements are, and also how they mesh with me and the topics,
Yeah,
seeing if I can deliver.
understandable. Understandable. If there was one thing you'd want people watching to walk away with knowing about you and your company, what would that be?
I would say that I help leaders create environments where all team members, including those from minority communities, feel supported, valued, and capable of thriving. Just it made me think of that because it's Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. So for me, that's really important to get it out there that everybody feels supported and in their work environment as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It is important for all employees to feel heard. And if you can help provide some tools for that, then everyone is going to thrive in a better environment. And who wouldn't want that, right? A calmer workplace and a place you
Right.
can almost look forward to going every day, despite whatever commute you might have.
Mhm.
Where can people get your book?
So my book is on Amazon, and you can type in Ariel Jordan, and I have 3 books that will come up, and that's the easiest way to get it.
Yes, perfect. Well, Amazon's good for that for sure. So you can have it in your hands probably in the next day or so if you order now.
I
Look,
love
we
that.
really appreciate your time today. Look forward to hearing a lot more about you. I have a feeling you will be taking charge of our town here very soon. And obviously, if there's ever anything that we can do, we are here for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.